I am Steve.
Oh, good. I'm so excited for another corporate cash grab movie off a franchise that has no film qualities whatsoever. I may be stupid, but I thought the whole point of Minecraft was that there's no story.
No one can tell you what you can or cannot do, with no rules to follow. This adventure, it's up to you.
I don't know. Say what you want about the Mario movie, I'd certainly have, but at least that one had characters and a vague story being communicated from the source material. I mean, if you stood 20 feet back, turned your head, and squinted. The Minecraft movie seems to have none of that, and to me looks like a paycheck for Legendary and Warner Brothers. Ooh. Yeah, it's probably best if I stop talking about it now. That's why when the film comes out, I'm just gonna be sitting at home playing Odell Lake. Make an Odell Lake movie, you cowards! In 1986, the Apple II and the Minnesota Educational Computing Consortium came together to birth a classic of educational gaming based off of a pristine and serene location in Central Oregon. MECC, or MEC, actually designed a lot of great educational games from the 80s and 90s, like Oregon Trail, The Island of Dr. Quandary, and Number Munchers, and a few other games that, if shown to anyone over the age of 30, probably would make them wonder why I'm talking about Odell Lake and not any of those games. Like all these old games running on machines slightly more powerful than a TI-84 calculator, but weirdly still powerful enough to send people to the moon, it lets you know when it starts up. No, I'm just kidding. It sounds like this. There are 4 buttons right off the bat. Get information, go exploring, play for points, and quit. Let's get some information because I, for one, am totally lost. Odell Lake is a simulation game in which you take the role of a fish in Odell Lake, Oregon. Blah, 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 blah. Your decisions determine whether or not you survive. There's a high score list that has no high scores on it yet. You can see pictures of all the fish in the lake, like the blueback salmon, the Dolly Varden, the chub. Just waiting for everyone to stop laughing, and the Mackinac trout.
We're here for one thing. Mackinac trout.
Oh, hell yeah!
Look at this guy.
And other ones. Then we have teacher information because this was an educational game. Okay, I've played my fair share of Oregon Trail in school, and I'm a wacky Gen Zer, but even when this game came out in 1986, I think kids would rather be playing, like, I don't know, the NES Legend of Zelda game. Why haven't they made a movie of that yet? They made Mario first?
Fucking morons everywhere.
Next, we'll check out the Go Exploring option. It tells you what you're doing, and basically, we're going to play the role of each type of fish, and we have to do our best to not screw it up. Let's start with the blueback salmon, and ooh, I see we are approached by the Mackinac trout we've heard so much about. It looks bigger than me, so I think ignoring it will be fine. Oh, I see. Yeah, for some reason, this game likes to talk to you like a disappointed parent scolding their children for playing in the street. I tried to deep escape this time, and it didn't quite work out, and the game told me,
by going to deep water, you have been eaten by a Mackinac trout.
Yeah, great, thanks. All right, I'm going to go in again, and this time I'm going to play as the Mackinac trout itself. I look like a glitch-ridden NES game. By the way, you may have noticed this game's killer soundtrack. Well, I would have been psyched to hear some bangin' tunes to accompany this riveting gameplay. The almost deafening silence accompanied with the jolt of pre-90s bit-crushed WAV files or MP3 files or however they made sounds in video games in the ancient times. For me, this makes a really good atmosphere that feels uncomfortable and disturbing. Let me just say, this is not the intended effect of this game, and it is purely from a dummy Zoomer brain trying to add meaning to a decades-old educational game. But it does feel off, doesn't it? This is just more hindsight association, but it gives me the same feeling as when I played Iron Lung. The anticipation of something happening. Did I make the right decision? What's gonna happen the next time I see a really big fish? Iron Lung is actually getting a film, ironically enough, and Markiplier is the one making it, in case you haven't heard. Unlike Minecraft, Sonic, Mario, and the inevitable Fortnite film coming out in 2027, Iron Lung actually makes sense to be adapted. There's an atmosphere here that can easily be translated onto the big screen. Not to mention a pretty good premise that can easily fill in the audience when context is needed. Having watched things like A Heist with Markiplier and In Space with Markiplier, while not entirely my thing, you can tell they were made with love and care, which gives me hope that the movie will be good. Anyway, back to what you're all here for. Me viciously consuming other fish. I actually eat something the game approves of me eating, which is surprising. You see a group of bottom organisms. I think I could just avoid these, right? Yes. Fucking bottom organisms. Next it says, I see a Dolly Varden ahead.
But I thought we were the good.
Well, I ate it anyway. Oh my, I'm assuming I can't eat an otter, so I'll just try the shallow escape, and it's chasing me, and I'm dead.
Oh hell no, oh hell no, oh hell no, oh hell no.
Hi, hello. I'm here to interrupt this already very intrusive joke to let you know that there's actually a much scarier animal in this game, more than the otter, if you can believe it. It's called the osprey, and I'm not talking about the giant fucking flying ship. I'm talking about the bird, and it just shows a claw, and it's terrifying, and I want my mom, and I'm gonna go home, and okay, back to your regularly scheduled,
Great. Well, we can always, let's try playing for points. All right, enough messing around. We're playing for points now, and I'm going for it all. Give me the glory, give me the appreciation, give me the love. I'm going for the all-time Odell Lake high score. All right. This whole video has been basically one big joke for the most part. While I did enjoy playing Odell Lake and reliving a time decades before I was even alive, what was even the point of this video? Well, for one, I'm trying to practice for an up-and-coming in-depth overview on the video game Terraria. You may have heard of it. But the other reason is that video game movies have been a bit of a brainworm for me since the Mario movie came out, and I wanted to talk about it. Also, I think titling the video Why Video Game Movies Are Pieces of Poopy actually is a bit too modern YouTube meta sounding for me. It's not how I like to roll. Video games tell stories in completely unique ways to books or films, and I think making these popular video game IPs into films kind of misses the point of video game storytelling entirely. Why do you think 90% of video games that are adapted into shows or films fall flat on their face? It's because the story was never meant to be told that way, for the most part. Or at least the way the filmmaker wants to tell the story does not fully encapsulate how it was told by the original writer. If the writer of that game wanted to make a film or TV show, they would have done that. And some games just don't work for films. Do you think a movie about Clash of Clans is going to be good? No, of course not. But at this rate, we'll probably get one before the decade is out. I mean, we got the Angry Birds movie, 2 Angry Birds movies, and those were... The amount of times I've heard or read things like, this game would make a great movie from friends of mine or in comment sections of videos on certain games is insane. The example I see all the time is...
They're waiting for you, Gordon, in the test chamber.
oh, someone should make a Half-Life movie. That would be so cool. Why? Everything great about that game is already there. It's told in the best way it possibly can be told. Half-Life works so well because it's a video game. In fact, it works so well it became the staple of linear FPS games. To try and translate that vision into a film, even if it's good, you would lose so much. Something like the Fallout TV show is a perfect example of this. While I think the show works really well, and I did enjoy it, a key thing was missing from it. And it's not really the showrunner's fault at all, but all the in-game exploration and uncovering lore throughout the world is a key part of Fallout that is impossible to do in a TV show format. We as players learn about the world by digging up notes and leaflets that tell us little snippets about the world. The player finds these things on their own. I like the way the show went, and characters like the Ghoul being played by Walton Goggins is what's going to keep me coming back. But it's just not the same. I'm not saying it doesn't deserve to be called Fallout, but there's something that the games do that the show doesn't. And it's just how media works. Why would you adapt something when it's already been told in the best way possible?
You know, besides making shit tons of money.
Point is, while I do think that certain franchises and plots can be carried over, we will always lose something in the process. Books survive this transition because the immense gain of visual storytelling and beautiful acting often outweighs the moderate amount of context and world building we lose when they're adapted. Probably 90% of my favorite films are adapted from books. But in my mind, video games can be the best of both movies and books because you have the time and structure to lovingly craft stories and characters while also having the benefit of breathtaking visuals and amazing performances. But that's really, really expensive, so most people don't do that. They either write a book or make a film, and that's fine. I'm sure people will let me know of all the times where the transition from video game to film or TV show worked out perfectly and give me many examples of why I'm an idiot, but that's their opinion, and frankly, it's one that I disagree with for the most part, and sorry, Max Payne is not one of them.
Again, this is just an opinion of mine. If you feel differently, that's okay.
So does that mean Odell Lake would make a great film adaptation? Of course it would! You're practically printing money, baby! Oh man, I'm choking on all the money and success that I have from Odell Lake.